Hey everybody, it's Carey Peters here with Tuesday Tips. What's happening? I'm going to talk about networking events today and give tips on how to get the best use out of them. But I'm having a moment here. Like, this lovely top is new from my awesome stylist. It's just, I'm having a little Janet Jackson moment. Welcome to the Facebook Live. Okay, so we're going to be talking about networking events and making the most out of those. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because we are having a live event coming up May 18th through the 20th in Miami. It's called HCI Live. It's called Step Into Your Spotlight, because this is about an event that is asking you to step forward, to put yourself out there in an extremely visible and powerful way so that you can accelerate your business success, but that mostly so you can really help other people. There's just no question that so many people are suffering with their health. Millions and millions and millions and millions of Americans and millions of people around the world. So we're being called up, us health coaches. We're being called up for the mission of helping people get better by changing their habits. Because it may sound simple to say to your client, you need to drink water, yo. You're super dehydrated. And it may seem like that's not a big deal, but guess what? The person's going to walk away from you, from somebody, some practitioner, and they may or may not do it. Habit change is the thing that is going to lead the healthcare revolution. And we are approaching a major crisis point. I mean, the next 10, 20, 30 years are terrifying in terms of the financial impact of chronic conditions and lifestyle diseases in the United States alone. And let's face it, there's more than a financial impact. There's an emotional impact. I mean, this is your life, your family's lives, your kids' lives, your spouse's lives, your parents' lives, your aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, colleagues, best friends, people all around you who are struggling with health. They've got aches, they've got pains, they've got issues, and you can help. So it's not okay anymore to hide in the shadows. It's not okay anymore to have our feelings of smallness, or our feelings of self-doubt, or our feelings of, but I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough, or I don't know enough. This mission that we're being called to as health coaches is bigger than you, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than all of us. This is about getting out there to create habit change so people can live healthy lives and not be burdened and really weighed down in so many ways by chronic health conditions and lifestyle diseases that are hurting them and hurting their families and hurting our country and hurting other countries around the world. This is what we are here for. You know, if you are someone and you're looking at health coaching, you're studying to be a health coach, you are a health coach, you're doing it because somewhere inside you know you have to, you must make a difference in the world. It's not okay for you to simply go to a job and punch in and punch out. That to you feels like death. But on the other side, what you're being asked to do is to be in front of people doing the work. That's what your like gut feeling, and you knowing. So many of you, I hear you say, and I have this experience myself too, is like, I'm meant to do this. This is what I'm meant to do. And that requires overcoming our small fears, overcoming our small worries, overcoming all of the concerns and doubts that all of us have, and they're totally normal. But they're nothing in the face of the job that we have ahead of us. And that's one of the reasons why HCI Live is so important, because we have to get together as a community and realize, first of all, any feeling that you might have, or that I might have, any little teeny feeling of like, oh, this isn't really a career, I'm not really going to be able to make a living doing this, nobody's going to take me seriously. None of that is true. Any feeling of, I can't do it, I don't know enough, no one will hire me, there are no clients, all of that is not true. So going to HCI Live, one of the incredible benefits, and there's so many, But one of them is that you're going to be surrounded by people who are doing it. You're going to hear stories from a ton of our students and a ton of our graduates about how they made $10,000 in 10 weeks. And you're going to hear story after story after story of doing that, and how they're setting themselves up to make another 10,000 in 10 weeks, and more and more and more and more. That success as a health coach is not a fluke. It's not luck. It's not like, oh, somehow I snuck by and people are hiring me as a... No, it is strategic and deliberate and conscious, and you're going to hear people who are doing it for real. And the important thing about that is to remember that you can do it for real. You can. We believe in you, and what's more important, we need you. So whenever you're feeling doubt or worry or concern about moving forward in your business as a health coach, just remember, hashtag, this is bigger than us. This is bigger than us. We need to move forward. You can choose not to, but I think that one of the great quotes I've heard from Stacey Morgenstern is that nothing is more painful than the pain of feeling incomplete. So nothing is more painful than the pain of feeling incomplete. And we feel incomplete when we're not living our purpose, when we're not doing what we know we're meant to do. So at HCI Live, we're going to be talking about how do you make a living as a coach? How do you create and fill high-end coaching programs that, like, where are the clients that pay for that? How do you offer that? What are the technical how-tos and the logistics? What are the coaching skills that are required? What's the level of skill and mastery that you need to have in order to command prices like that? And let me tell you, when you're a high-end coach, whether it's in health or any other kind of coaching, then you have time and you have energy and you have resources to give to those who may not be able to afford high-end programs. Truth is, only 20% of people want a high-end coaching experience. And so there's another 80%. So what do we do with them? What do we do with those other 80% who need you and need your help? Well, you're able to make a great living for yourself. You're able to then create tons of content that you can give away online. You're able to give pro bono services. You're able to give talks. You're able to give back so much, but you have to be paid. And part of you being paid and part of a client paying you is that you both have to step up to the plate. You both have to commit that this is real, that transformation is for real, habit change is for real, and there's no more fooling around. And one of the things that I love when a client comes to work with me is I like to joke. I like to have a good time. You all might know this if you've been following Stacey and I for a while. We like to have a good time, but we are deadly serious about your success. And that's the same with your clients. You want to be serious about your client's success. You want to be serious about your success and believing that you can have it. And I will say that live events are so crucial to your success as a coach. One of the things that Stacey and I promised when we created HCI was that we were going to bring forward the things that made a difference in our coaching careers, the things that were turning points for us. And one of the things that was just a major turning point was live events. Live events. It's incredible to have an online education. That is for sure. I mean, for those of you who are around my age, and I'm in my early 40s, 42 to be exact, you remember the days when call waiting was a big deal, right? And now here we are on a video on this thing called Facebook, and we have this incredible online education that we can offer to students all around the country. I mean, it's a miracle. And still, nothing compares to the power of a live event. When I was really getting serious about my coaching business, I graduated from my first certificate training in 2006. I was very stubborn and felt that I should know everything, and I didn't get any further business education I really should have. And I floundered for a bit until I started to really get serious about learning the business and the art of coaching. And when I did that, I decided to attend a live training. Now, this live training was expensive. HCI Live is a bargain. This training that I attended was, I believe it was $3,500, which at the time was exorbitantly expensive for me. I had had some success in my career, but I wasn't rolling in money. I think the most I'd ever made was maybe $50,000, maybe $55,000. And so going to this live event was a big deal. I mean, it was a commitment, and the hotel was like nice. I never took myself on vacations. It was crazy. I felt like this beautiful hotel. What am I doing? I can't. I had all this conversation in my head. I'm like, I can't go spend money on this hotel. I can't go to this training. I can't afford it, blah, blah. But there was a part of me that just knew I had to be there. I had to be there. And so I invested in the ticket for the event, and I gulped, and I made my hotel reservation, and I gulped, and I made my flight reservation, and I gulped, and I went to this event. It was June of 2009. And by September of 2009, I enrolled my first big group coaching program. It was 40 people. I launched it online and had made $40,000. And that was absolutely a result of being in a room live with people who were showing me that I was capable of more, that more was possible for me, that I could do it. I saw they were doing it, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, if they're doing it, maybe this is possible for me. And I started to take action in ways that I wouldn't have if I hadn't been at that event. So from that day, or that time, in the summer or fall of 2009, I just made a commitment, like I have to be at live events, I have to be in live trainings. There's a part of us that knows the person that we are becoming, that knows the kind of coach that we're growing into, and that knows the kind of money that we want to make. There's a part of us that knows that, but not everyone in your day-to-day life gets that. They don't often know that or get it or understand it. So the importance of walking into a room of hundreds of people who automatically get you, they automatically get you. You and I, we don't have to explain ourselves to each other. We don't have to apologize like, oh, I'm a learning geek. Oh, I'm really into health. Oh, yeah, I eat seaweed. We don't have to have that conversation. We already know. We already know. We're on the same page. So now multiply you and I times hundreds and hundreds of people who can look at you and already know who you are and get you. And then take it a step further and see the version of you that you want to become. And they can hold that space for you, especially and even when you can't hold that for yourself. Sometimes we feel like, oh, do I dare even think about this kind of success for myself? Do I dare? And the person next to you at HCI Live holds you by the hand and says, yes, you do. And I'm here to hold you accountable to it. I see your greatness. And you can't help but see your own. And of course you learn how-tos, you learn logistics, you learn the sort of nuts and bolts of what to do. But the most important thing is that felt sense of yourself as the coach you know you're meant to be. So for those of you who are feeling like, oh, gosh, I'm not sure, I don't know if I'm going to go, you are going to go. It is going to be a game changer for you. You will walk away from that event not a different person. You're going to walk away as more of who you are. Because right now, what I know to be true about you, because I know to be true about me, there's a way in which you're holding back. There's a way in which you are doubting, or which you are fearing, or which you are worrying. And it's time for that to go. Because we have a job to do, and it's bigger than us. So, just want to take that in for a moment and understand that this is where the rubber hits the road when we talk about life purpose, when we talk about living our life purpose and being the person that we're meant to be on this planet at this time. This is what it means. This is what it means. It means being able to be afraid and ready. It means being able to worry and still go. It means being still learning and practicing as a coach. These things go together. It's not an either or. Either I have to be perfect or I can't walk in that room. Either I have to look a certain way or I can't be a health coach. You feel me? Either I have to have a certain amount of things accomplished or I can't be in that room because I won't have deserved it or I won't have earned it. This is something that's really, really important because we're actually introducing something special at HCI Live that we've not done before. And it's something called the VIP Spark Pass. And this is a really special, you think of it as like a special access pass to the event. And it includes some really cool stuff. Let me look at my list here to let you know. So of course it includes the event ticket, but it also includes early registration. You get to register early when you get there so you don't have to wait in lines, which is really nice, and there's more time to mix and mingle. When you go into the room, the conference room in the morning, you get first dibs on seats, which is awesome because this is a big event. There are hundreds of people. And you want to be able to choose where you want to be in the room, even if that's in the back seat by the door. Some of you might want that. That's okay. And the other thing that's really great about the Spark Pass is that it's going to include lunch on all 3 days. And here's why I think this is useful for a number of reasons. But I have attended many, many events myself, maybe, I don't know, more than 25, 30. And the thing that drives me crazy at events is having to go someplace for lunch. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about lunch. I just want to go into a room where a beautiful lunch will be waiting for me, and I get to talk to people from the event. I get to network. I get to maybe have access to the people that are hosting the event. It just is an easier experience of the event. And of course, when we provide lunch, that lunch is there are gluten-free options, there are dairy-free options, there are vegetarian options, there are vegan options, there are raw options. So you know the food is going to be good and clean. So you just don't have to worry about it. And you get to be in a room with incredible people who are valuing themselves at a high level. This is something that with this Spark Pass is like an exercise. And by the way, this is going to be very reasonable. I'll talk about the investment in a moment, but it's an exercise in choosing to value yourself. Because the truth is, nobody is going to make that choice for you. Nobody. You're the one who gets to decide, I deserve it, I've earned it, this is worth it. You're the one. So I remember the first time I invested in an event, and it was called something else, like some sort of VIP access. And I was like, well, I'm not VIP. Well, who am I? And then I thought, wait a minute. God damn it. I am VIP. I'm done living my life thinking that I'm less than and that I deserve less than. No more of that. No more. And I made the decision at that point. I'm like, I will always get the VIP access at an event because I am VIP. And so are you. So let's talk about these lunches. There'll be lunches all 3 days. The first day, Stacy and I are going to come in and hang with y'all. So you'll get, access to talk with us and to do some Q&A. And I think what you're going to find is that Stacy and I are just totally like you. We're just normal people. We've been on the same journey that you've been on. We're really honest. We're really candid. We're just ourselves and goofy and dorky and fun, and we get to be with you on that lunch. On the second day, you get to be with our success coaches, and they get to be helping you sort of process everything that you're learning at the event, understand how it applies to you in your particular situation. And then on the third day at lunch, you'll be doing we're going to be creating a group activity for you that's going to set you up for success when you get home. Because the other thing that happens at events is that you learn a lot and your brain gets really full and you go, okay, what do I do on Monday? What about Monday? So we want to help set you up for that with this Spark Pass. Now the thing about it is This is, particularly with the lunches, there is a limited amount of space in the hotel. They have certain rooms that we have been able to book because of availability. So there's only a certain number of Spark passes available for you to get this kind of access to the event. You can, let's see, the investment in the Spark Pass is $197. Like, it's not outrageous. I have invested far more. I've invested $497. I've invested $1,000 for VIP. There was one VIP access that I invested $5,000 for, and I remember thinking, this is crazy. But God damn it, I'm VIP. So $197 is like, okay, for the amount of time you save and the people that you meet and the hassle that you won't have and the wonderful food and the access to sort of the special access to the event, it's sort of a no-brainer. So in a second, I'm going to talk about networking tips for an event, but first I just want to let you know how you can get the Spark Pass. So if you have already registered for an event ticket, because many of you might have, you're just going to go to hcilive.com/social. And you're going to notice that a pop-up is going to come up on the website, and it's going to talk about the Spark Pass and what's included, and it's going to ask for your email address. And so you'll put in your email address. Just make sure that you use the same email address that you used when you reserved your seat deposit. And if you don't know, you can always email our support team at support@healthcoachinstitute.com. But ideally, you want to use that same email because that's how we can track you and make sure that you are set for this pass. So if you upgrade, if you've already invested in if you've already secured your seat at the event, normally you would come to the event and your seat deposit would be refunded. Well, with the Spark Pass, we're going to apply your seat deposit to your investment. So the Spark Pass for you is really an additional $100. Very simple. If you're enrolled in an HCI course, if you want the Spark Pass, but you have not reserved your seat deposit yet for HCI Live, you can go to the same link, which is hcilive.com/social. You'll get the same pop-up. You want to use your email that you use to register for your HCI course so we can find you. And then you can invest in the event ticket and the VIP Spark Pass all together for $197. You don't have to deal with a seat deposit or anything like that. If you're new to HCI, if you're not in any of our courses, if you're like, who are these ladies and their community? I want to check them out. Then you'll simply go to hcilive.com/social and you'll enter any email address that you like, and you can invest in the event ticket and the VIP Spark Pass at the same time. Let's see if there's any detail that I have not missed about the Spark Pass. I don't think so. That really says it all. I just want to remind you too that at the event, while we're very serious about your success and providing an outstanding experience, we party, we have so much fun. It is uproarious. I mean, we laugh like crazy. Stacy and I are really goofy and like to crack jokes a lot. We have a community full of people who are very funny and like to have a good time. So we call our events, our events are like a mullet. It's business up front, party in the back, and I think that you're going to absolutely, absolutely love it. If you have questions about anything having to do with the event, having to do with the Spark Pass, having to do with your email address, then all you have to do is email support@healthcoachinstitute.com and they'll help you out so that you can get everything that you need. Okay, so now that we have that under our belt, let me just do a little preparation for you, a few tips for attending the event, getting the most out of it. Whether you're attending our event or any other networking event, I think that you're going to find these tips useful. They help me a lot. Okay, so the first one is to release any expectations of what the event has to be. So I know early on I would put a lot of pressure on myself because I felt like, well, I'm doing this and maybe I shouldn't be doing this. So it has to be this. I have to get a client. I have to meet so-and-so. I have to learn such and such. And one of the things about live events is that I've discovered over the years is that Yes, you're there to learn a specific thing. Yes, you're there to accomplish things for sure. But there's a sort of magic and that happens at live events where things come up and possibilities arise and ideas come to mind that you never would have expected and that are actually even better than what you ever would have thought or what you came to the event with in the first place. So there's a way to just be open to the magic and release expectations and pressure on yourself and let it unfold. The second thing in the event is when you attend an event, and let me tell you, for those of you who don't know, I am a serious introvert. I am terribly shy. And in a live event, when I go and I'm in a room full of strangers, I'm so uncomfortable and probably terrified. So there's two things that two tips I would have for you if you have a similar issue, and even if you don't. The first is to be yourself. Be exactly who you are. You don't have to act a certain way. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to wish that you had lost 10 pounds. You don't have to pretend that you're further along in your business or in your career. People respond to authenticity and truth. That's the only thing they respond to. So simply being who you are is the best way to show up at an event. And the second thing that's really important, whether you're an introvert or not, is when you're at an event, when you meet people, to come from a place of service. So instead of meeting people and trying to get something from them, like maybe you'll be my business partner, maybe you'll refer clients to me, instead of going to people with a sense of what can you do for me, going to them with a sense of how can I serve you? What do you need? What's your ideal client? What's your niche? What kind of resources are you looking for? How can I help you? So that you're always at a networking event coming from a place of service. And let me tell you, that was a game changer. Sometimes that's the only way I can get myself to walk in the door. Is be like, I'm here to help people. I'm here to help people. And then I can get over my fear. Next tip is when you're going to an event, immerse yourself in the entire experience. Show up to everything. So, for example, at HCI Live, the first night, we have a wild, wild cocktail party called Dress to Express, and people get crazy. They wear all kinds of amazing things that they're dying to wear but have no place to wear them, and we have a catwalk and dancing and drinks, very healthy booze. But it's a ton of fun, and you don't want to miss that. The second night, we have something that it's a tradition, we call it the fireside chat, where Stacy and I do some hot seat coaching with people in the audience so you can see how we work. We have a particular tag team style of coaching that's really unique. And then people ask us all kinds of personal, candid questions, and we kind of let loose. It's a wild time. And then, of course, during the day, all 3 days, we're together from 8:30 to 5:30 each day. And you want to make sure that you participate in everything. Don't go to the event and go out and get drunk in South Beach. Be there, be there, be there. And that's how you get the most out of it. And then a final tip, I have a couple little bonuses, but one more tip for an event is following up. So there's going to be, anytime, whether you attend our event or any other event, there's going to be people you meet, connections you make, things that you want to do. And you want to make sure that you're following up with those people, you're following up on those connections, you're creating accountability for yourself for those things that you want to do, so that when you go home, you're not like, lost in a sea of ideas and things like that. It's important to take what you learn, and even if it's one thing that you learn in 3 days, and you implement it when you get home, it was worth the entire event. I remember I had a mentor early on who said, one nugget is worth everything, as long as you implement and execute. So some of you will need accountability to do that, but there are connections that you may make at that event that will help you. There are ways that we as HCI can offer continued accountability, and we'll tell you about that. But making sure that you go to the event and it's the proof is in the follow-up. It's just like when you're health coaching someone, they can come to your session, but then they got to go away and they have to do the work. And it's the same for you. So making sure that you really commit to the follow-up. Couple little bonus things that for any networking event, including HCI Live, bring a sweater. Layer your clothes. Have a t-shirt, have a sweater, have a sweatshirt, because climate control in conference rooms is not always easy. And some people are super cold by nature, some people are super warm by nature. And so you want to make sure that you have a t-shirt in case you're hot. You want to make sure that you have a sweater or a sweatshirt in case you're cold, jacket in case you're cold. That's going to help a lot with your comfort. Another thing is to bring snacks. Bring snacks. There, I call it, when I go to events, I call it event appetite. I'm just starving all day long because my brain's going. I need food, and you're going to need that too. So making sure that you pack snacks, even if they look through your bag at the airport and they're like, wow, that's a lot of snacks. You'd be like, I'm going to go learn a lot. And then of course you'll get from us, and usually at an event we call it the fun book, but it's basically a resource kind of action workbook that you're going to refer back to for years to come. And there'll be notes pages inside that workbook, but I personally like to bring my own notebooks and I like to write in them. So if that's something that you want for note taking, just to make sure that you bring that. Okay, so those are my tips for networking. People will often, let me just give one note about business cards, that you can bring them, and if you don't have them, don't worry. And I'll tell you a truth, I will confess, I have not had a business card in maybe 5 years, maybe 6. It's been a very long time since I've had a business card. And what I find at networking events is that when someone says, oh, give me your card, and I hand them my card, it's nice, but I don't have any control over the follow-up. So if I just hand somebody my card, I don't know if they're going to call me or not. But if I get their card, or better yet, I just pull out my phone, in this day and age we can do, and I connect with them on Facebook, or I connect with them on social media, or I text them and say, hey, it's Carey, then I'm in control of the follow-up. And it's right there, it's immediate. Also, if you are using business cards or you do have a little notebook, I tend to write down, well, even in my phone, I tend to jot down little notes about the person that I met and what we talked about and how I might want to follow up with them. Are they a potential referral partner? Are they a potential client? Are they a potential friend? Are they a potential partner? Are they just someone that I want to have more conversation with? So I'll jot that down so I can remember who people are, because sometimes there are a lot of people that you meet and I just don't remember everybody, and you might not either. So that's a great note to keep in mind for how to keep track of the people that you encounter and how to make sure that you're in charge of the follow-up. You have their contact information either on their business card, in your notebook, or in your smartphone. So I really want to say thank you to those of you who are with me today on Tuesday Tips, and to tell you that I can't wait to see you at HCI Live. And if you would like to invest in the Spark Pass, which I strongly encourage you to do because the value is really there. It's a very small amount to invest for the return that you get. You can go to hcilive.com/social. And a pop-up will come up, and you can enter your email address there, and you can get the Spark Pass. I hope and I look forward to seeing all of you in May in Miami, May 18th through the 20th. I can't believe it's only 7 weeks away. Awesome. And I'll see you guys next week for more Tuesday Tips.